All right, welcome back to Diesel Talk with Tony Salas here. Jason Allen's been sending me some comments here, notices about his 6 liter 2006 model. If I'm not incorrect, hopefully that's what it is. I'm here in the back storeroom because there's a lot of noise in the shop, but I thought I would share this on my thoughts. What is his problem? His problem, according to what I understand, is that his truck will not turn off. It's a 2006 6 liters. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pull the wiring diagram for this because he says once again that it does not turn off. So here's the wiring diagram for a 2006 model here. And we're going to notice that we have our central junction block, which is our pretty much our fuse panel. It's located underneath the steering wheel. So underneath the steering wheel, there's a cover, and that's where we're going to, excuse me, that's where we're going to see the cover. So at that point, we're going to see the fuse box. That's your central junction block. Now, here over at the bottom of this wiring diagram, this box down here, if you could barely see it down there, that is our PCM or powertrain control module. So again, the truck is not turning off. So here is our ignition key right here. And when I look at the ignition switch, A goes up here. It goes to the PCM power relay. So relay is a switch, excuse me, a low current switch controlling a high current switch. So therefore, we notice that this relay is activated by the switch itself. So when the switch goes into, which is number 2, the run position, it's going to power up other accessories, but also to E, which we'll show you here in a second, and it goes to A right here. So A would be the PCM relay because the two major components that keep the PCM going in order to keep the truck running is two things. E goes to the FICM relay, and A goes to the PCM relay. So therefore, if we follow B, we'll see where it goes to as well. But in this case, I'm concerned about A and E. But the problem is that the truck does not turn off. So therefore, if I look closely here, when A is energized, right, from the key, I'll follow A. I continue A up here at the top. It'll go ahead and energize what we call the coil side of the relay. So this is positive potential going to the positive side of the coil. The coil is already grounded at G100 right here, so it's getting power. So when this coil becomes energized, the switch actually closes over here. So we're going to have power here, which is hot at all times, actually turning on, and that in turn will turn various different circuits, including the two wires going to the computer, which is at cavity 46 and 34. So what we're going to have to figure out is where are we not losing power? So the first thing I would do, would tell Jason Allen, is we need to see if this relay is not stuck closed. It could be stuck closed. So therefore, what we need to do is we can remove the relay. And that relay, by the way, is located. Let's see if we can fetch it out. This damn thing is in my way. Oops, let me go over here. Here you can see a diagram here that I just pulled out to search on being on the internet. But here we could see that fuse box that's underneath the steering wheel, that cover, and you're going to see the PCM power relay right there. So we can remove that relay right there, okay? We definitely can try to take that relay off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to see if it's stuck closed, but we need to do a continuity check. So let me go back to my diagram. So therefore that relay again is located there. And in this case, I need to see if there is continuity between cavity 30 and 87. So on the side of the relay, there is numbers that'll tell you the identification of which pin, because it's a 4-pin relay, okay, 4 pins, and 2 of them is 30 and 87. The other 2 are 86 and 85. There is a diagram on the side of that relay. And what you're going to tell me is we need to do a continuity check, see if there is continuity between 30 and 87. Now, if that don't suit you, then find a relay in that box there that looks just like this one, same part number on the top, puts little part numbers on it, and just swap it. Literally just swap it. So try that now. That would be the easiest thing to do at the beginning, would be to check to see that this PCM power relay is not stuck shut. In other words, these contacts are stuck closed, powering it all the time. So even though this coil might get turned off by the key at A, remember here's the key right here, there's ignition switch going to A. So at that point, that should turn off the coil side, which in turn the relay should pop open. But it could be a stuck closed relay. Once again, those contacts could be closed. So we need to check counter between 30 and 87. So therefore, that's what we need to see because that is your main power coming in here. So therefore, at that point, we're going to see if it doesn't get turned off at cavity 46 and at cavity 34. That's what we're looking for. Okay. That's very essential to do because we need to know if that's the case. So in the case that the relay is, the relay is working, just to see if we have a back short somewhere, we could also do another thing. There's that F2.22 fuse. Fuse point, uh, once again, fuse 2.22, that is a 20 amp fuse. Another thing you could try to do is to pull that fuse off with the, if the engine is running and you have the switch off, pull that fuse off. If that stays on, excuse me, if that turns off the truck, then therefore we definitely know we have a short somewhere between the PCM relay or somewhere in the circuitry right here. So therefore we would have to follow the wiring on where what goes and where it goes to what. So therefore we definitely want to see power there. So once again, when the ignition switch closes to power on, it powers up these three major connections, which is A, B, and E. I know A goes right up here to the relay, the PCM power relay, and we see that E goes to where? It actually goes to the FICM relay. I know that one too. So therefore it's controlling the FICM relay there too as well. So therefore at that point, B would be something else we need to check later on to see where it goes to. But for now, what we need to actually accomplish is the problem in the PCM power relay. So you have one of two choices. If the truck's still running with the key off, go ahead and pull that fuse 2.22. If it turns off with the switch off, even though it's still running, you're telling me, then therefore we got probably a PCM power relay stuck closed. So I need you to tell me if with the relay removed, I need you to tell me if actually between 30 and 87, if there is continuity. So we're going to measure resistance with, some kind of meter there. So we definitely need to have some kind of meter to measure the continuity there between those two on the relay. So let's do that first. And we're going to stay tuned to see if Jason responds. And hopefully this will help him. But in this case, we're trying to isolate where it is. But I believe the problem where the truck's not shutting off is in the PCM power relay circuitry. So therefore, let's see what's going on there. Now, we could have an ignition switch problem, but you'll notice that we would have to pull off the switch and we would have to check all the terminals on that switch there. So we got to see what's going on there. But for now, let's check to see if we have power here. Now, I guess I'll take it the next step forward. If you pulled with the switch off, you pull the fuse 2.22, right? Then at that point, if it doesn't turn off still, it's still on, right? Again, we got a short somewhere in here that we need to find, but we're trying to isolate where the circuit is for starters, okay? Is it on this side or is it on this side? That's what we're trying to figure out because it relays two sides. It's a low current circuit controlling a high current circuit. So, repeating, we need to see if the PCM power relay is the cause. So pull fuse 2.22, pull it off. If the engine does start, if the engine does turn off, then therefore at that point we know it's somewhere in this circuitry right here. Okay, we got a short somewhere, but who could be the culprit once again? It could be the PCM power relay. Now, if the PCM power relay, when you remove it, has no continuity between 30 and 87, meaning there's no resistance, no flow, it's an open circuit, that's the way it should be because the switch is normally open, then we need to concentrate on this side. Okay, see what's shorting out on this side, which goes all the way back to the ignition key. So we need to then test the key if we've got going on. So what are you going to do? What you're going to do is locate cavity 86 where that relay goes it's in other words to the battery junction box fuse box. What you're going to tell me is, do you have power with the key off at cavity 86? Okay, so once again, you're going to take the relay off. You're going to see which is 86. And what you're going to do at that point is you're going to tell me if you have power at that terminal in there where that relay goes into. You're going to tell me if that 86 has power with the key off. If it does, then we definitely have a short in the ignition switch and we'll go from there. So definitely got to check that. So repeating one more time, hopefully I didn't confuse you, Jason, is pull that fuse. For starters, probably the easiest thing to do is pull fuse 2.22 with the engine running. You're saying that the key is off, it's still running, pull that 2.22. If it turns off, then I know that that PCM power relay circuit could be the switch, could be actually stuck closed. So you can actually remove the relay, take the relay in your hands and measure continuity between 30 and 87 terminals and tell me if you have continuity. Okay, let's see if you do. If you don't have continuity, then the problem could be on this side. So tell me if you have power on cavity 86. So let's do that for starters. All right. We'll continue on letting you know what Jason gets back to us about what he finds out. At that point, we'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching.